At this stage, we know that there are a lot of amazing places to live all around Grand Rapids. So today, we're gonna take just a quick moment and we're gonna look at one of my favorite places to live in Grand Rapids. And this one, a little bit off the beaten path, a little bit further west. This is actually the Lake Michigan border town of Holland, Michigan. Super cool place with so many fun things to do. Let's go ahead and let's dive into Holland. But before we do, I am Nick Belmore. I'm a local realtor who specializes in finding the right home for the buyers that are out there. The other thing I specialize in is helping sellers get into the home that fits them the very best at this stage of life. So let's take a quick moment and let's take a look what it's like to eat, live, and play in the city of Holland. Holland's a great place. And as we start to look at the city of Holland, the average sale price over the past year is $366,000. If we wanted to go ahead and go downtown from Holland, we're looking at about a 34-minute drive into downtown. Of course, on the opposite side, if we're looking to get to Lake Michigan, we have about a 5-minute drive in order to go ahead and get to Tunnel Park from most places in there. Awesome place to go ahead and check out the lake. On the other hand, if we did want to make it out to the airport, if we were looking to go on a trip, it's about a 42-minute ride to get to the airport from the city of Holland. So a little bit further out, but also a straight shot on the freeway just the same too. So it's really fairly easy to get to just the same. When it comes to schools in the city of Holland, Holland has a solid B rating for schools. When we get into the neighborhood descriptions, there is just so much diversity in the city of Holland when it comes to architecture. All the way from neighborhoods of those 20s and 30s built homes into some of the 50s built homes. And then of course we see along Lake Macatawa, we see a lot of homes along Lake Michigan are just these unbelievable, beautiful, unique beach homes. Some of them great big giant mansions, some of them little small cabins that may have been there for just a long time, but there is something for everybody in the city of Holland. Okay, when it comes to grocery shopping in the city of Holland, there are a lot of choices. While Holland is definitely one of our bigger cities, it has tons of different things to do. So many that I might not be able to catch them all on this list for sure today. So if you guys have thought of anything on any of these videos that I may have missed, go ahead and leave it below in the comments. When it comes to groceries in Holland, we have several different family fare grocery stores. There's also a Save-A-Lot. There's a place called the Holland Supermarket. There's of course also Aldi, and if you are looking at bulk shopping, Holland also has a location for Sam's Club. So a ton of different choices when it comes to the city of Holland. When it comes to some of the public things to do in the city of Holland, this is another one where there is a lot, way more than I can ever fit into this video. One of the things that I absolutely love about Holland is the amount of parks that they have. So one of the things that I want to start with is Holland State Park. This is just north of Lake Macatawa on the Lake Michigan front, and Holland Park is definitely one of the fun beaches to go to. There's some walking trails, there's a lot of different stuff like that, but if you're looking for that open sandy beach, if you're looking to kind of get out there on Lake Michigan, if you want to maybe even go and check out the pier, Holland Beach is a great place to go and do that. Now, just a little bit down the beach, you also have Tunnel Park. It's one of those places that I reference in a lot of these videos. And one of the reasons why is because it's such a great place to be able to go and enjoy the beach. So often along Lake Michigan, the actual waterfront is separated by large sand dunes. And one of the cool things about Tunnel Park is they actually built a tunnel of concrete that goes right through the sand dune and gives you easy access to the beach. Of course, my kids always want to go up the giant row of steps that takes you 200 steps up to the top to go over the dune, so I rarely get to enjoy the tunnel as much as I would like to, but it's a great place to go. Not only is there swimming, but there's also also playgrounds. There's a ton of parking. It is a fun Lake Michigan location. Okay, but we also have a lot more than just those to go to. We also have Holland Park, which has a boat launch, a playground. It has its own amphitheater, and it also is one of those super fun places that really lets you connect with nature and get out there as well as get on the water. Another one that I think is well worth looking at is the Centennial Park over there. Great place with unbelievably beautiful gardens. It's a nice place to walk around. It's very well manicured. Although it's really beautiful, it might not be as natural as some of the other places, but if you're looking for an unbelievable well manicured garden, a great place to maybe have a picnic in the afternoon or spend a little time, it's definitely worth checking out. Also, one of the cool things when it comes to public amenities is the Holland Farmers Market. Really great place to be able to spend some time. Ton of variety of unbelievable produce. It's one of the larger farmers markets in the area, so I do think that that's absolutely worth the time and energy to enjoy just the same. And there is also the Herrick District Library. One of the things that we have in West Michigan is unbelievably great libraries. If you're looking for not just books, but media, access to information, all this great stuff, you can never go wrong when it comes to our West Michigan libraries. And of course, they are absolutely free to spend an afternoon there. Okay, when it comes to some of the other things to do over in the Holland area, oh, there's so many things that it's hard to mention them all. I'm gonna start with some of the biggest ones that people love to go to. People come from miles around. That's Windmill Island, which is a really cool and fun place. And they have a giant, authentic Dutch windmill out there. You can go ahead and check out the windmill. It has a bike path that you can ride around, check it out from there too. And there's also a small little traditional village in Windmill Island. It's a great place to go and spend an afternoon. Again, just beautiful manicured gardens. Of course, the windmill, which is just so much bigger than you can imagine when you actually get up to it, and very authentic in how they used to be used in the old days in order to go ahead and mill different grains and really produce those food products. And that's one of the cool things about Holland, is it has so much different things with the Dutch immigrants and so much history that it is a fun place to check out. Okay, staying in the theme, obviously Windmill Island is a really cool one. The next thing that we're going to look at isn't really a spot to go, but it's an event that happens in Holland every single year, and that is the Tulip Festival. Tulip Festival goes about 2 weeks, and there's so many things to do at the Tulip Festival. From a carnival style fair and rides, all that different stuff, to public vendors, to just really checking out Holland itself. The Tulip Festival is a must-do. Now I will say this, if you're coming especially during the first week, it's amazing how many people come out to the Tulip Festival. It is thousands and thousands and thousands every year. And so with that, you have to understand that you might have to park and walk in a little bit for the Tulip Festival, but believe me, once you get in, once you see the flowers, once you see the vendors, once you see just the community and the vibe of it, you will never want to not attend the Tulip Festival. It's super fun out there for sure. So definitely one that is worth checking out. Again, when we start to get into Holland itself, there's also the Holland Princess Dinner Cruise. If you wanted to get out on the water, have an amazing meal, this is another cool fun thing that you could do in order to be able to check that out. Downtown Holland itself is something to do, and I gotta say this, I love downtown Holland. It is a fun place to go. And one of the coolest things about downtown Holland, especially in the winter, is they actually pipe hot water through the sidewalks and through the streets. So downtown never has to shovel themselves out. They just begin to pump the hot water, and all year round it melts the snow away. So it keeps everything super accessible for the shops, for all the restaurants, for all the cool little things that we have in downtown Holland. So if it's not a place that you've checked out before, it's probably worth your time to go. If you've ever been to Ann Arbor, it gives me very much an Ann Arbor vibe as you start to walk through downtown. You start to see the restaurants, all the cool things to do down there. Of course, there's a lot of shops. There's just a lot of great things to do in downtown Holland. You can see why it's a tourist attraction when you spend a little bit of time down there. Nellis Dutch Village is the other one that I want to look at. Not quite downtown, a little bit further in from downtown, but a really, really cool place. Whereas the Windmill Island was a little bit more of a historic recreation, the Dutch Village is more about like a little kid's party. And yes, it is definitely themed after so many cool Dutch things in the Netherlands. There's some really cool stuff there, but there's also rides for the kids. It's also really focused on some more of those little kids. It's a super cool experience and almost like a small Dutch theme park as you start to go through there. Again, this is one of those cool, unique things, and it's been in business for a long time. I believe when I was looking at it, the very first little place in the Dutch Village was built in 1952, and then it's continued to grow out from there. So if you have little kids, it's definitely one of those places that is worth an afternoon to check it out and spend a little time in there. Last but not least, I always want to talk about this whenever it's in a city. This is Craig's Cruisers. Craig's Cruisers is our local go-kart place, and it's not just go-karts, it's putt-putt golf. A lot of them have bumper boats, and many of them have a video game arcade. So if you even have teens or preteens like I do, that's a cool, fun place to be able to spend an afternoon, and there is a ton of stuff to do at Craig's Cruisers. When we start to get into unique restaurants, this is another one that we have a good amount in the city of Holland. Now, Holland has a lot of the chain restaurants as well. So for the most part, if you can think of it, it probably exists somewhere in the city of Holland. However, today we're gonna absolutely be focused on some more of those more unique experiences when it comes to restaurants in Holland. And so I wanna start with those things that you just can't find everywhere when you go out to look for a restaurant. Really cool one that we've been to is Salt and Pepper over in Holland. There's so much different variety, definitely a little bit more of a high-end restaurant, but a great family atmosphere, delicious food. Of course, the Windmill Restaurant is another one that is well worth checking out. Another one is Daddy-O's Soul Food. So if you're into some soul food, that is a cool, fun place with a great atmosphere to check out. The Paisley Pig is another fun and cool, exciting place. If you're into a unique experience, something a little bit more high-end and fun, that is definitely one to check out there. The Boatworks Waterfront Restaurant is another one. My wife loves to eat anytime there's a restaurant on the waterfront, so that is definitely one that is worth checking out for a lot of people too. The Wooden Shoe Restaurant, of course it's Holland, so we gotta have a little bit of that Dutch theme in there, a little bit of a breakfast, lunch, diner style. The Crazy Horse Steakhouse is another cool one to check out as well, and that's in that little shopping area of downtown Holland. The Crazy Horse has a variety of steaks, burgers, ribs, all that kind of stuff as well. The Dutch Brothers Restaurant, because you know it's Holland and we do have a Dutch theme to most things, another cool one on there. There's also margaritas for Mexican. There's also La Creme. If you're interested in French food, this is definitely a fun place, a unique place that's worth checking out. So again, a lot of choices on there, tons of different choices. And I'll say this, if you know of a great unique restaurant in the Holland area, and maybe it didn't make the list, maybe I missed it, go ahead and put it in the comments below. There's so much variety in Holland, there's no questions that I ended up missing something. So hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. Hopefully you learned something new about the city of Holland. And if you yourself are thinking about making a move, reach out to me. My information is in the description below, and I would absolutely love to help you find the right home for you and your family.